Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, so friends,
Okay, so
today as well we will be discussing a sutta. Uh, so we will be discussing a sutta from Majjhima Nikaya. The name of the sutta is Culakammavibhanga Sutta. Uh, and there is another sutta in Majjhima Nikaya called Mahakammavibhanga Sutta. Chula means small, Maha means great. So there are two suttas. Uh, so we are learning the first sutta. So it is about karma. Uh, so let me share the sutta. Okay, so we are using Bhikkhu Sujato's translation here. So this is sutta number 135 from Majjhima Nikaya. So at that time, the Buddha was living in Savatthi, and there was a young man, Manavo, Atako Subho Manavo, a boy named Subha. Uh, so his father was a famous Brahmin named Todeya. Uh, so there is a story behind this sutta. So this Brahmin Todeya, he was very proud of himself and his caste as a Brahmin, and he didn't respect the Buddha, and he didn't help anybody, and he um, was kind of a miser. And after death, he was born as a dog. So Buddha revealed it to his family and uh, the monks and the Buddhist disciples. And this news, um, so Subha heard this news and he was not happy about it. Subha was his son, right? Todaya's son. So he didn't want to hear that his father was born as a dog. So he came and accused the Buddha. Uh, and finally, he had to accept that. So then Subha wanted to know why these beings are born in these worlds. So his father was born as a dog, and uh, all the beings in samsara after death they will be born another realm according to their actions. So Subha wanted to know why this happened. So he came to the Buddha and he asked this question. So he approached the Buddha and he has sat down to one side and said this to the Buddha: what is the cause? What is the reason why even among those who are human beings, some are seen to be inferior and superior? So there are beings who are superior and who are inferior. So there is this difference among beings. Even in the human world, we can see this difference. There are superior beings and inferior beings. So, uh, Suba asked this question: what is the reason behind this? Um, for these beings to be born as superior and inferior. So he pointed out the difference among these people, the diversity. So he said there are beings, so there are people who are short-lived and long-lived, sickly and healthy, ugly and beautiful, insignificant and significant, poor and rich, from low and high caste families. There are witless, or there are people who are not wise, and there are people who are wise. So, what makes this difference? What makes this diversity? So, his question was, what is the reason for this? So, the Buddha said, the sentient beings are the owner of their deeds, the heir of their deeds. Deeds are their womb, their relative, their refuge. So, the Buddha's answer was, this diversity is there in this world because of karma. Kammasaka manava satta. Manava means young man. So the Buddha addressed this young man, Manava. Kammasaka satta. All beings, all beings have the karma as their owner. That means uh, beings are the owners of their deeds, and they are the heirs of their deeds. So whatever deeds that they have done in the past, they will inherit the result of that karma. And the Buddha said deeds are their womb. That means uh, they will be born in a respective destination another realm according to their deeds. So deeds are their womb. They will be born in that womb. So whether it's the human world or the animal world or any other world, uh, that will depend on whatever karma that they had done in their past lives. And karma is their relative and their refuge. So relative means those who are around us. So relatives um, are around us, right? They are in our community. So whatever karma that we have done will be around us. We will have to face the results, and karma will be their refuge. That means uh, the beings will have to um, use this same phenomenon to escape from the cycle of rebirth. So even in the Buddhist teachings, he pointed out the path leading to the cessation of suffering, that is the Noble Eightfold Path, and and all these eight factors, samma ditti, samma sankappa, samma vaja. So these eight factors, right view, right intention, right thoughts, all these eight factors are also karma. So karma will be their refuge. They will have to use karma to escape from karma. So the reason that we travel in this samsara is because when we do actions with our body, speech, and mind, we will have to face the results. Therefore, we will have to be in this existence. So, in order to escape from karma, we have to wisely understand this phenomenon and do what is necessary to escape from this existence. So, that is to follow the Noble Eightfold Path. So, the Buddha said karma is also their refuge. So these words are important. Deeds are their womb, their relative, and their refuge. So the Buddha said it is deeds that divide beings into inferior and superior. So this young boy named Subha, he said, I don't understand the meaning of what you said. Can you please explain this in detail? Uh, so the Buddha elaborated this. So he said, the Buddha take some woman or man who kills living creatures. They are violent, bloody-handed, ardent killer, merciless to living beings. So there is a person who kills beings. Uh, because of undertaking, when their body breaks up after death, they are reborn in a place of loss, bad place, the underworld, hell. So they will be born in hell because of this unwholesome action. Mm, And the Buddha said, if they are not reborn in a place of loss, but then wherever they are reborn, they are short-lived. So those who have killed living beings lives will have short lives when they come to the human world. So they will be, as a result of that action, they will be born in a bad destination, like in hell. Back to the human world, they will be short-lived because of that unwholesome action. The Buddha said, for killing living creatures is the path leading to a short lifespan. Uh, and he continued, take some woman or man who gives killing living creatures. So he or she doesn't kill living beings. They renounce the rod and the sword. That means they don't take, uh, knives, or weapons to kill others. Uh, and they are kind and they are full of sympathy. So when they undertake such deeds, when their body breaks up, after that they'll be reborn in a good place, in a heavenly realm. And if they are not reborn in a heavenly realm, or if they come back to the human world, when they return to the human realm, then wherever they are reborn, they are long lived. So they will have long lifespans when they are reborn in the human world, because they have abstained from killing living beings. So the Buddha said, not killing living beings is the path leading to a long lifespan. And then he said, he hurts living creatures with a fist, thorn, rod, or sword. That means there are people who hurt others physically. So when they undertake such actions, they'll be reborn in a bad destination, and when they come back to the human world, they are sickly. They will not have healthy lives. Uh, they will have to face sickness all the time as a result of that karma. And those who do not hurt living beings, those who are kind and have compassion towards living beings, and if they don't hurt others, that is also an action that somebody does intentionally. So when they undertake such deeds, they will be born in a heavenly realm, and when they come back to the human world, they are healthy. So karma, big part in our lives, uh, which have where karma has a big influence. So so the Buddha said, those who do not hurt others will be healthy. And then he said, there are people who are irritable and bad tempered. They become angry very easily. So the Buddha said, even slightly criticized, they lose their temper, they become annoyed, hostile, and hard-hearted. and displaying annoyance, hate, and bitterness. So they become angry very easily. Because of this action, this is a mental action that they cultivate. So as a result of that mental action, they will be born in a place of loss, in a bad destination, in hell. And when they return to the human world, they will be ugly. Um, so there are people who are not of that character. They do not become angry easily. So they aren't irritable and bad tempered. Even when heavily criticized, they don't lose their temper, become annoyed, hostile, and hard hearted, or display annoyance, hate, and bitterness. So there are people like this. Uh, they don't lose their temper easily. So when they cultivate this mental action, they'll be born in a heavenly world, and when they come to the human world, they are lovely and they are beautiful. And there are people who are jealous. They envy, resent, and begrudge the possessions, honor, respect, reverence, homage, and so they are envious and they are jealous towards others' possessions, and others' gains. So this is a mental action. So when they undertake this mental action, they'll be born in a bad destination, and when they come, if they come back to the human world, they are insignificant. Nobody will take them seriously, and they are insignificant because of that unwholesome mental action. So, and there are people who are not jealous, who, when others gain, other when they see others uh, succeed in their lives, they are not, they don't have the jealousy in them. They're not jealous. They're not envious. So if they have this quality, and if they cultivate this quality, as a result of that, they'll be born in a heavenly world. And when they come back to the human world, they are significant. That means people will recognize them as a result of that good action. And there are people who do not give anything to anybody. So the Buddha said, "Take some woman or man who doesn't give to ascetics or Brahmins such things as food, drink, clothing, vehicles, garlands, all these things." So they do not offer anything to anybody. So they don't support ascetics and Brahmins. So ascetics and Brahmins, they try to cultivate wholesome things and try to practice a path to purify their minds. So they're not; these people do not recognize that practice as something wholesome, and they do not support them. They do not offer anything to these ascetics and Brahmins. Since they undertake this deed, so this is also not supporting uh, ascetics and Brahmins. That is also an action, because they have this mindset when they do not recognize the wholesome practice. So they do not support these ascetics and Brahmins, and they don't offer anything to anybody. So since they are not generous, uh, they will be born in a bad destination, and if they come to the human world, they will be poor. So there is a reason for people being poor. It is so usually the people in the world, they blame others, or the politicians, or the people who are rich, for uh, for controlling the economy and not providing them enough opportunity to become rich. So people accuse others. That can also be reasonable, but there is a big part in their lives that are influenced by karma. So if they have not offered anything to anybody in their previous lives, if they haven't been generous, they will not have enough good karma to become rich. So those who give dana to ascetics and brahmins, and those who are generous, they'll be born in a good realm, in a heavenly realm, and when they come back to the human world, they will be rich. And then the Buddha said there are people uh, who are arrogant and obstinate and arrogant. They have so much pride, and they don't want to respect anybody. So they don't bow to those they should bow to. They don't rise up for them. They don't offer them a seat, make way for them, or honor, respect, esteem, or venerate those who are worthy of such. That means there are people who are worthy of uh, veneration. Those who are virtuous, the ascetics and brahmins, or parents. So children should respect their parents, or the elders. So there are people who are worthy of respect and venerations. So these people are so arrogant, and they don't respect these people who are worthy of veneration and respect. So because of this, so this is conceit, this is mana, and because of this unwholesome action, they'll be born in a bad destination, and when they return to the human world, they'll be born in a low class family. So there is this caste system in the world. We cannot completely eliminate this from the world. No matter how hard we try, we cannot eliminate this from the society, because there is a karmic background for this. So those who have not respected those who are worthy of respect will be born in a low class family. So there will always be this caste system in the world because of this karmic nature. So it's because of karma. And the Buddha said, uh, there are people who are humble, who are not arrogant, and they will respect those who are worthy of respect. When they recognize virtuous people, they will respect them. They'll respect ascetics and brahmins. So when they return to the human world, they'll be after that they'll be born in a heavenly realm, and when they come back to the human world, they'll be born in a high class family, an eminent family. And the next thing is, the Buddha mentioned that there are people, they do not approach ascetics and brahmins to ask what is wholesome and what is unwholesome. So there's something to the word skillful to describe kusal. Kusal means, kusaladhamma means wholesome qualities. So the literal meaning of kusala is skillful. That is true, but what the Buddha means by this word kusala dhamma, or kusala, be what the Buddha means is wholesome qualities, good qualities. So Bhikkhu Sujato has used the literal translation, that is skillful, but we don't get the real meaning when we see this word. So skillful means you can be skillful at any. One can be skillful in hunting, killing others. So Bhikkhu Bodhi is in the word wholesome. So I personally prefer that word. So so what the Buddha says here is there are people who approach ascetics and Brahmins and they ask, what is wholesome, what is kusal and what is akusal, what is wholesome and what is unwholesome, what is blameworthy and what is blameless, what should be cultivated and what should not be cultivated, what kind of action will lead to my suffering, or what kind of action will lead to my welfare and happiness. So when they ask this question from these ascetics and Brahmins, so they go to ascetics and Brahmins because they understand that in order to develop wholesome qualities, one has to abandon sensual pleasures. So while being engaged in this sensual happiness, uh, it is very difficult for a person to develop wholesome qualities. So uh, so that's why even for the lay people, the Buddha laid down precepts. He said you had to practice. Lay people had to practice 5 precepts, and then on poor days they had to practice 8 precepts. So when they practice 8 precepts, they give up sensual pleasures. They had to practice celibacy on that when they observe 8 precepts, and they are not supposed to wear jewelry and garlands and cosmetics, and they give up sensual pleasures uh, because it helps them to cultivate wholesome qualities uh, on poor days. So they understand that in order to develop wholesome qualities, they have to abandon sensual pleasures. So they go to ascetics and Brahmins to learn what is wholesome and what is unwholesome. So, uh, so this is kind of a mental action because they understand in order to develop wholesome qualities, one has to abandon sensual pleasure. So this is wisdom in one way. So uh, since they go and ask these ascetics and Brahmins what is wholesome, what is unwholesome, they are in search of wisdom. So as a result of that karma, when they come back to the human world, uh, they will be wise, and those who do not visit ascetics and Brahmins and learn what is wholesome and what is unwholesome, when they are uh, when they are born in the human world, they will be witless and they will not be wise. But those who go to ascetics and Brahmins and ask what is this, what are wholesome and what actions will lead to their happiness, what is wholesome and what is unwholesome. So they will is wisdom. They'll be born in a good world, good realm, and when they come back to the human world, they will be wise. Asking questions of ascetics and Brahmins is the wisdom, because when they approach ascetics and Brahmins, they get to learn about uh, virtue, concentration, and wisdom. Right. So in that way, they'll be able to develop wisdom. So so the Buddha said, this is the way people uh, live that makes them how they are, whether short-lived or long-lived, sickly or healthy, ugly or lovely, insignificant or significant, poor or rich, in a low class or a high class, or witless or wise. So there is a background which makes them differ in the society. So that background is made of karma. So that means it all depends on their previous actions. So that's why the Buddha said sentient beings are the owners of their deeds, the heirs of their deeds. Deeds are their womb, their relative, and their refuge. It is deeds that divide beings into inferior and superior. So when the Buddha explained this, uh, this young man named Suba, he understood what what the Buddha is trying to say, and he was very happy about it. And he said, "Excellent, worthy Gautama, excellent." And he expressed um, uh, his happiness, and he said, "It is as if he were writing what is overturned." That means when something is overturned, you don't see what it is properly, and when you turn it upright, you'll be able to see it. So just like that, he gave this simile. The Buddha illustrated why these beings are born inferior or superior. So he understood what the Buddha said, and he expressed his gratitude with these similes. He said, "This is like revealing the hidden, or pointing out the path to the lost, or lighting a lamp in the dark." So he praised the Buddha. And he said, the Buddha has made the teaching clear in many ways. And he finally took refuge in the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. And he said that he will be a lay follower um, who has gone for refuge for life. So he became a disciple of the Buddha. So he in this sutta, so this is a short sutta where the Buddha explained karma, the results of karma. So as Buddhists, it is important to understand uh, what karma is and how karma affects our lives, so that we can refrain from doing unwholesome deeds, and we can cultivate wholesome deeds which will benefit us in the future. So so when you look at this sutta, you can kind of understand that unwholesome deeds will lead to suffering, wholesome deeds will lead to happiness. And people will tend to think that if you see somebody uh, suffering, okay, this is because there's unwholesome deed in the past. But it might not be the case all the time. There can be other reasons for that as well. But karma is one reason. The Buddha didn't say that everything occurs as a result of karma. He didn't say that. Karma uh, has a big part uh, in our lives. That means karma can decide um, many things in our lives, but there are things that beings experience that are not results of karma. So that is also something we have to keep in mind, because the Buddha didn't say everything happens because of karma. So if everything happens because of karma, there is no way to escape, because we have already done uh, past actions and we cannot change the past. So we will anyway have to face the results. So if everything happens according to karma, then there is no way to escape. But that's not the case. The Buddha said there is this thing called karma, this phenomenon called karma, that will have a big effect on our lives. But there is a way to escape from karma. So that is the Noble Eightfold Path. So there is another sutta called Mahakammavibhanga Sutta. So next week we will learn that. In that sutta, the Buddha explained karma in a different way. In that sutta, the Buddha said, uh, so there can be people who do good actions in this life. So in this life, they will be doing good actions, wholesome actions, but still there is a possibility for them to be born in a bad destination because of previous karma that they have done in the distant past, in a past life, or uh, at the last moment of death, their mentality can cause them to be born in a bad destination, even though they have done wholesome deeds in that life. And there are cases where uh, people have done throughout their life, they have done unwholesome deeds, but still there can be a possibility for them to be born in a heavenly realm because of past karma. So if they have done good actions in the distant past, in a past life, that can take them to a heavenly world. Or the last moment before death, if they change their mindset to a wholesome path, they can be born in a heavenly realm, even though they have done unwholesome deeds throughout their life. So there can be instances like that. So results of karma is something very complex. So the Buddha said it is not easy to understand the results of karma, but we should have a general idea according to the teachings of the Buddha. So the general idea that we have to understand is that unwholesome deeds will cause suffering, wholesome deeds will give happiness, and karma will not decide everything in our lives, but there is a big part that is governed by karma. So karma is something very powerful, but it doesn't determine the entirety of our lives. There are things that we can do to escape from karma. There are other reasons why people can experience suffering or happiness. So this is one way of explaining karma, and there are other suttas where the Buddha explained karma in different ways. So next week we will learn Mahakammavibhanga Sutta and understand the complexity of karma. Okay, so I hope this sutta gives you wisdom and will help you to live this life according to the Dhamma, and help you achieve or find happiness in our cycle of rebirth in samsara, and ultimately helps you to achieve enlightenment. Okay, so we will meet next week. Uh, we wish you all good health and happiness. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.